Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the one and only Gary Moore. You might know him from his hit songs like Still Got the Blues and Parisian Walkways, but there's so much more to this incredible musician than meets the eye. Gary Moore was an incredible musician who captured the hearts of millions with his mesmerizing guitar playing. He started his career in the 1960s and played with legendary bands like Thin Lizzy, Skid Row, and Colosseum 2. Gary Moore was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland, Robert William Gary Moore, on April 4th, 1952, and he started playing guitar at a very young age. By the time he was a teenager, he was already playing in local bands and gaining a reputation as a guitar prodigy. His father bought him his first guitar, a second-hand Framus acoustic, when Moore was just 10 years old. Though left-handed, he learned to play the instrument right-handed. Not long after, he formed his first band, the Beat Boys, who mainly performed Beatles songs. He later joined Platform 3 and The Method, amongst others. Around this time, he befriended guitarist Rory Gallagher, who often performed at the same venues as him. Influenced by Peter Green and Eric Clapton, Moore began to gain some success in the late 1960s when he joined Skid Row, with whom he released 2 albums. After Moore left the group, he joined Thin Lizzy, featuring his former Skid Row bandmate and frequent collaborator, Phil Lynott. In 1975, Moore joined the progressive jazz fusion group, Colosseum 2, which was formed after the demise of bandleader John Heisman's previous band, Colosseum. Moore recorded 3 albums with the group before joining the rejoined Thin Lizzy in 1978. While living in Los Angeles in 1979, Moore formed the band G-Force with Glenn Hughes and Mark Nosseff. However, Hughes was soon replaced by Willie D. and Tony Newton due to his drinking problems. At the same time, Moore was also being courted to join Ozzy Osbourne's band. He declined, but G-Force helped Osbourne audition other musicians for his band. G-Force later released their self-titled debut album in 1980 and toured opening for Whitesnake. Before the end of the year, however, the band broke up. Moore was then recruited to play guitar in Greg Lake's solo band. They recorded 2 studio albums together in 1981, Greg Lake, and 1983's Maneuvers, as well as the live album King Biscuit Flower Hour presents Greg Lake in Concert, which was released in 1995. In 1982, Moore was considered for the guitarist position in Whitesnake, but vocalist David Coverdale opted not to recruit Moore, as the band were in the process of severing ties with their management. In 1987, Moore collaborated on the UK charity record Let It Be, which was released under the group name Very Aid. Moore was a member of the short-lived power trio BBM, Baker, Bruce, and Moore, which also featured Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker, both formerly of Cream. After just 1 album and a European tour, the trio disbanded. The project was marred by personality clashes between members as well as ear problems Moore sustained during the tour. Moore later said of the band's breakup, "There were a lot of things within the band that would have never made it work. Long term, I think that politically, Jack was used to having his own band, and I was used to having my own band, and so it was very difficult." Moore had begun a solo career in the 1970s and achieved major success with 1979's Parisian Walkways, which is considered his signature song. During the 1980s, Moore transitioned to playing more hard rock and heavy metal with albums like Victim of the Future and Out in the Fields, with which he had varying degrees of international success. In 1990, he returned to his roots with Still Got the Blues, which became the most successful album of his career. Moore had a successful solo career, releasing over 20 albums and collaborating with some of the biggest names in music. He was known for his blistering guitar solos and emotional ballads, and he influenced countless guitarists with his unique style and sound. But despite his success, Moore was a complex and troubled person. He struggled with addiction throughout his life, and he often turned to alcohol and drugs to cope with his personal demons. He also had a tumultuous relationship with his father, who was a strict and abusive figure in his life. In the mid-1970s, Moore was involved in a bar fight which left him with facial scars. Moore was with his girlfriend at Dingwalls when two men started mouthing off about Gary's girlfriend, what they'd like to do to her. After Moore confronted them about it, one of the men smashed a bottle on the bar and slashed Moore's face with it. This had a profound effect on him. It did change him, friend Eric Bell said. A lot of that pent-up anger and emotion would come out in his playing. And it came out in other ways too. It must have been hard to come back from something like that. During the 1980s, he would hide his scars in photographs and videos by looking down or being framed from a distance. Sadly, Gary Moore passed away in 2011 at the age of 58, but his music and legacy live on. And he continues to inspire new generations of guitarists around the world. Whether you're a fan of blues, rock, or heavy metal, there's something in Gary Moore's music for everyone. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the life and career of Gary Moore. If you haven't already, make sure to check out some of his incredible music. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.